They've taken it too far. I don't know what Tony Romo has done down there. I don't know what gives him this much credibility. And I'm a person that don't believe you should lose your starting position because you're injured. But this is not the first time that Tony's been injured. We know what he's doing when he's healthy. We know what he's done when he's healthy. If he comes back and he's a starter and he takes Dak's position, if I'm a teammate and I'm playing for Dallas, I'm pissed off.
That was former Chargers and Bills linebacker Shawne Merriman on Sports Nation yesterday saying it's lights out for Tony Romo in Dallas. Will Cain now with us. Hope you're doing well.
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yes,
looking very dapper today.
I must admit, you've dressed decently for a change. I like it.
First of all, that shirt was good.
Right.
It was nice.
Fashion
it was
is
stylish.
subjective.
And I hate this because it feels like I'm giving you power over my wardrobe. But this is in the rotation.
But you are.
You
know, I got to ask you
are.
both something. Do you plan on offering your handkerchief to a lady at some point later today? What is the handkerchief?
You might.
The pocket square?
Is a pocket square is even worse.
Let me tell you something right now. You really, really need to get up on your game with them. You need to add pocket squares.
That is an unnecessary embellishment.
Can I tell you something right now?
Like a vest, Max.
Can I tell you something right now?
A vest is for the cooler weather.
Well, listen.
You like the simple
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
If you added a nice, silky, like black or white pocket square, that would bring that side. Well, listen, you're supposed to try hard with your wardrobe.
You try just hard enough, but no harder.
Okay. Is that why? Is that also the close-shaved beard?
Precisely.
Look, we're both violators, but let's not pretend this is warming our faces.
Precisely.
It's decorative.
Well, that is decorative. That is true. But some of us have weak chins. Anyway, we digress.
Oh, you all look very nice. Fashion is subjective, and I'm glad you have range in your wardrobe, Will.
Thank you,
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Do you agree with Shawne Merriman?
Well, I mean, how do you agree or disagree? I mean, I tried to diagram Shawne Merriman's paragraph, and I'm sure Sean's a great guy. I never met him. I'm sure he's a great guy. But he uttered something like 4 or 5 sentences in this paragraph, and they simply don't add up. They don't work together. Number one, I would be pissed if the Cowboys replaced Dak Prescott with Tony Romo. Number two, I don't believe guys should lose their job to injury. Those things are in conflict with each other. Number three, we know what Tony Romo's done on the field. Well, if you know what Tony Romo's done on the field, you wouldn't be quibbling with the fact he's replacing Dak Prescott in the starting lineup. Tony Romo is, statistically, truthfully, one of the best fourth-quarter quarterbacks of the past decade. He has the most fourth-quarter comebacks. He has the most game-winning drives, comeback victories since 2006 over names like Tom Brady, that bad man Aaron Rodgers. He has the stats, the truth to back it up. We know what he's done on the field. Maybe I'll cut Sean some slack. Maybe he hasn't watched. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's only one of these guys that watches a SportsCenter highlight at the end of a Sunday and sees Tony Romo throw a pick once every, I don't know, season. Once a season, and Tony Romo does that. But just
so you
clear.
know more than the NFL player that was Shawne Merriman, is what you're trying to say.
Who, by the way, is about
Lights out.
6'5", 270 pounds, and I used to see him in my Krav Maga gym in L.A.
Go ahead, Will.
Two things.
Tread lightly.
The measure of a man in this arena isn't the size of his body, but the size of his man. And I won't be by the size of his mind.
That too. Keep going.
Give it a second.
That's not the worst Freudian slip to make, actually.
They're even in
nothing to do with this conversation.
They're even in my ear going, wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Not the size of his body, but the size of his mind. And I won't back down from anyone on that.
Let you tell it.
Number two, just because you played doesn't mean you can analyze and talk. And Shawne Merriman can.
That's right. That's true.
I'm not saying Shawne Merriman is flawed. I'm just saying this particular analysis is off.
No, it's not.
Dak Prescott does not get replaced by Tony Romo unless Dak Prescott is an absolute world beater, an unimaginable world beater, in the next 6 weeks.
We agree about that. Or if there's, even if it's not as a result of his play necessarily, but that they just keep winning. Because that's the history of the NFL. I don't care who you are. You can lose your job to injury if the team happens to be winning. The idea is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if Dak is balling out and or they only have one loss by the time Romo gets back, Romo ain't getting the job right back. Barring that, I'm on the same page with you. Romo's underrated. He's an excellent quarterback who has become a punchline, and it's really not his fault. But I understand what Shawne Merriman's saying perfectly. He's saying, Will, and I'm surprised at you, they're unable to see this in the reading comprehension of, for crying out loud, if I can't rely on you to do that, who at ESPN can I rely on?
We'll see.
Look, he's saying that if you, I'll put it in terms you can understand. If you had a Venn diagram, draw a Venn diagram of Tony Romo fans and Dallas Cowboy fans, while there would be an intersection, there would be a shaded area where they are one and the same, there's also Tony Romo fans who have gotten to have a greater allegiance to the quarterback than the team. on a lower level, the way Kobe Bryant fans were not, sometimes put their Kobe Bryant fandom ahead of their Lakers fandom. Now, in terms of him being hurt, he said you can't lose your job to injury. And we all know how great Tony Romo is, essentially. But his point is, Tony Romo is chronically injured. This is an ongoing problem.
Yeah, you skipped that line.
He has not been, I don't know if he used the word chronically, but that's his point. He continually is injured. So the issue is, even if he gets back on the field, for how long? You can't rely on him. Meantime, you have a young, healthy quarterback who needs the reps, who you're winning with, and who's balling. If you were on the Dallas Cowboys, you'd say, why go back to the problem? Why not just continue what we're doing?
I want to let this happen. This is going to happen. I'm going to let this happen. But first, just a quick rebuttal on this reading comprehension test that I passed with flying colors.
Yes.
You may be explaining Shawne Merriman's "I don't like guys losing their job" to injury. You may be giving a little bit more breadth to that comment, but you haven't explained Shawne Merriman saying, we see what Tony Romo's done on the field. You haven't explained what you submitted to when you started, that he's a great statistical quarterback that's consistently underrated. You haven't explained Shawne Merriman failing that part of his analysis.
Yeah. He's saying that's one of the reasons there's so many Romo fans who at times put his interests ahead of the team's interests. And on the other hand, he's acknowledging the fact that he's awesome while also saying his inconsistency and lack of availability is going to be an issue going forward because it's been an issue in the past and in the recent past. That's what he's saying.
Stephen A.
This bores me. I got that line from
a college debate team.
I got that line from Dave Chappelle imitating Prince. Remember that? Remember that? Before he challenged Eddie Murphy and the crew to a game of basketball. You know, Will Cain, I just want to make sure I'm clear about this. From Texas, right?
That's a fact.
Right. You're a Cowboy fan, right?
That's right.
You believe in winning, don't you?
Here we go.
Don't you? Because you see, all the stuff that y'all just been bloviating about for the last 5 to 10 minutes is speaking about a 78-49 regular season record. 65% of his passes completed, quarterback rating of 97. Relatively impressive numbers during the regular season. I'm sorry, because, you know, Mrs. Mollywood, you know, football, you know, our football matriarch. Man, are you aware of any Super Bowl championships that's won during the regular season? I'm not sure. I just need clarification.
Yeah,
No, that doesn't happen, right? Back to you. This is the issue. See, this is why your opinion about Tony Romo is pathetic, and you should be ashamed of yourself to show up here on this show talking about Tony Romo and getting on Shawne Merriman. Tony Romo's record is 2-4. Do you know what his completion percentage dips to in the postseason? That would happen to be 61.6%. I mean, it dips by about 5%. Come playoff time. So in other words, what we've discovered about Tony Romo is that he's beautiful when the pressure's minimal. He's beautiful when the lights ain't too bright, when it's not illuminating too much. And why do we know this? Because it has been 20+ years since the Dallas Cowboys have won anything. So it has gotten so bad that I know you know this, Will Cain, because obviously, you know, you make sure to record history. I'm sure you have this recording somewhere. Jerry Jones, you know, that billionaire owner of yours, you know, got the Cowboys worth about $4.2 billion, built the $1 billion playpen, Jerry World.
That part's impressive.
All of that, that's very impressive. I do recall Jerry Jones stating, I'm not getting any younger. Our time is running out.
Ticking.
This is what he said.
Just like a woman's
This is what he said.
biological clock.
So if all of those things matter, not only do I got you dead to rights in terms of you being completely wrong about Tony Romo, I dare say, Will Cain, you are very insensitive to Jerry Jones because you're not thinking about him. You're not thinking about his well-being. This man is running out of time.
Jerry Jones doesn't care about winning. That's the problem.
Listen, I believe you, but my point is,
about business. He cares about his own vanity.
I do believe him to some degree.
Yeah.
To some degree, I do believe that's true. It's not that he doesn't care about winning.
But it just contradicted everything you just said.
Let me finish. I don't
believe that.
I believe that he prioritizes things other than winning.
That's right.
Not that he doesn't care, because I think he cares, but he doesn't.
He cares about other things more than winning.
You don't care about Jerry Jones. You don't care about Jerry Jones.
Okay, I don't care about Jerry Jones. I am a good team player. I'm here. I'm your friends. I'm here to help you. First of all, first quick lesson. I know you're both from New York. Grew up in the city, and you're city boys.
What part of Texas did you grow up in?
Sherman, Texas.
It ain't even Dallas, is it? Or not even Arlington. No. Where's that at?
Let me be clear. pride in rural Texas. There's pride in small town Texas.
Where's it at
I'm not
again?
a big city boy like you guys, but I'm here because of that.
How far is that
to
from
explain
Dallas?
something to you, okay?
How far is that from Dallas?
Don't use the country rube routine. Let's get to the point.
Here's the point. This Jerry Jones doesn't care about winning. That's crazy. First of all, he's not in it to make money. He got into this rich. He got into this already rich, as all do owners do these days. Nobody inherits teams anymore. They come to it with full pockets and do it to boost egos through winning.
So
now, here's
he
what
just
you guys
markets Dallas out of the kindness of his heart, huh?
Here's where you guys get
nothing
confused.
about money, huh?
There's this mentality, and it's a little peculiar in Texas, maybe a little heightened, but it exists in New York as well. And there's a mentality of how you want to win. Jerry is a home run hitter. He's a swinger. He wants to go all the way. He wants the dramatic moment. He's not a process guy. Admittedly, he's not Bill Belichick. Okay? He's not Jason Garrett, for that matter. He's not Robert
What is
Kraft.
Jason Garrett? What is Jason Garrett?
Well, Jason Garrett talks a good game about the process. Jerry will always
Not Rooney or
go
Mara
for the home run.
or any of the really good owners.
But that doesn't make him.
Really?
That doesn't mean he doesn't care about winning, Max.
I should have
He's an
rephrased.
inherent deal maker. He wants to hit a big oil deal. He doesn't want to grind out small profits like Warren Buffett over multiple decades. He wants to hit
he's
it now.
high risk
And
reward.
I'm not excusing
he goes
him.
into debt like
22
certain
years.
I'm not
presidential
excusing
candidates.
him. I'm explaining him to you men who grew up in New York and just don't understand. That's a different way of wanting to win. It doesn't mean you don't want to
It's a different
win.
way of wanting to win. So how do you explain the fact that he hasn't done it in over 20 years?
Because you keep striking out. Home run hitters strike out.
Well, how many times are you allowed to strike out before somebody renders you
Before they
ineffective?
bust you down to the farm.
And it's time to move on.
Perfectly legitimate rebuttal. Now I want to tell you one thing, and this is going to be. I'm here to help you. I'm going to tell you why.
I'm waiting for the help. I'm waiting for the assistance.
This is why.
I've been around you long enough. I haven't gotten any assistance
This
yet.
is why I keep beating you in debates. And if you
It's
listen
never
to this,
happened.
This
Well,
is
go
why
ahead.
it keeps happening. Okay?
You really drug
The college-
test, piss test, whatever the case may be. Something you
The
need.
college debate thing, maybe it comes in handy because here's the question. Should Tony Romo replace Dak Prescott? The question was not, despite your soliloquy, is Tony Romo better than Aaron Rodgers? It was not, is Tony Romo better than Tom Brady? The question was not, will Tony Romo win a Super Bowl or be a world beater in the playoffs? The question was, is Tony Romo good enough and should he be replacing Dak Prescott? My argument went to winning that argument.
No. Because it did not.
That's why I beat you. Because you went off over here and made a fancy argument about something else.
Do I get to rebuttal? Do I get to retort?
Well, it depends if it's on subject or not.
Well, it's always on subject. You understand? If you listen, you know. First of all, the question is accurate. I answered the question because what I pointed to.
So you're saying Dak should stay in?
I'm saying to you, yes. If the Dallas Cowboys, I have said from day one, if the Dallas Cowboys are winning, why bother
ain't
this
broke,
man?
You're
Don't
saying
fix
that
it.
Dak
I said that.
You're saying that since Tony Romo can't win a Super Bowl, you might as well start with Dak
I'm
Prescott.
saying what-
You're saying since Romo is better than most give him
Dak.
credit for it, and then Dak, he should start. But what you haven't addressed is the propensity for injury. Tony Romo can't stay on the field. And I think the point Shawne Merriman was making that you haven't answered is why go back to a guy who can't seem to stay on the field when you have a young, healthy quarterback who needs the experience and is already good?
Well, Max, it's a no-lose proposition. I take the better quarterback as long as he's healthy, and when he's not, then I put Dak back in.
Time out.
Why is that not
Time
a
out.
perfect
Time out.
scenario?
Wait a minute.
I happen to agree with that,
How do you know he's better if Dak Prescott continues to play the way that he's playing and the team is flowing? How do you know that?
Gosh, I respect you so
How
much
do you know that?
I listened to you. And was I here on Friday? I was here on Friday, right? And wasn't the argument you forwarded then that I don't know anything about Dak Prescott, that he started 4 games, at that time 3 games?
Yes.
That it was premature to anoint Dak Prescott?
Yes.
And now you're ready to replace him?
No, what I'm saying
Replace
to
Tony
you,
Romo.
no, Will, because we addressed the question. This is a different question. What I'm saying to you is that if Dak Prescott is flowing, you stay with them. My position has been consistent about that all day, every day, from the time that he arrived, because I have made the argument that if you are Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys and you're winning football games, why interrupt that for a dude that can't be relied upon? Not to mention a dude that has never won anything.
Yeah, your argument is that Tony Romo
That's
isn't
what I
good under
said.
pressure. But I don't think the stats actually back that up.
No.
He gets slightly worse when he plays better teams. That's like Tom Brady, too.
I said postseason. I'm
Right,
not
but you
thinking
play
about
better
the regular
teams in the
season.
postseason.
I'm not. I know. No.
So your stats will fall
I'm not
off a
thinking-
little bit.
No, because what happens is that Will comes with an argument, then a different
Unless you're
question
Eli Manning,
comes
then
up,
you get better.
and we're addressing that, and then you try to lump it all in. Don't get slick. The fact of the matter is,
I think it's the opposite.
No, absolutely not. Because the fact of the matter is, if you are Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, what has Tony Romo done for you in the postseason? Tell me one time my argument has changed. What?
They were one call
I've been
away,
saying
which I
this for
think they
3
got
years.
the call right, but it was that
I've been
close
saying this
from
for
going
3
to the
years.
NFC Championship game.
Here,
Not that long ago.
Look, Here, wipe your brow.
All right. So
Oh,
Steven.
there it is. There it is. I take